Hi, welcome to Walk Corner with Guido1212. I got another replay analysis for you here with the IS3. After my last video on Westfield, actually, where I talked about how to beat long odds by going where you're needed, somebody sent me a message and said, hey, could you do some videos on a couple tanks? And one of the tanks that they asked for was the IS3. I sent them back an email and said, sure, that sounds good. So I decided to try the IS3 first. And this is actually the first battle that I had with it. Now the interesting thing is that last video on Westfield was how to beat long odds and go where you need to be. And this one happens to be on Westfield as well, but it's actually on the other side, from the other side. So in this case I'm on the north spawn instead of that video where I was down the south spawn. And I'll spawn up top instead of spawning down on the bottom. In addition, I'm in a heavy. So the meta, as I discussed in the last video, is basically that the heavies go up here to the northwest, this being what I believe the most important early part of the battle area to be right here. But I'm actually on the north side and already up here. So I'm really going to flow with the meta on this one, where I discussed in the last video, sometimes you need to go against the meta. Well, in this one, I'm going to pretty much go with the meta. If you look at the teams, we're pretty even. About the same amount of heavies at the top, some medium sandwich in between, and then this standard cast of crazies down at the bottom. So I'm going to head up here to the northwest corner. I'll show you what I'm doing with my camera. So as I move up here, I like to move up into this saddle. There are two ways to go here. You can head up into this saddle here, or you can go up to that area up there and go around. I don't particularly like that way because if you're not very good hold down, and they've got some decent hold down spots there, they can tear you up. At least if you go up in this middle saddle, you can back off the edge of the ridge and protect yourself from being hit. The other thing you'll notice in this game is there's no arty, which changes things a little bit. In general, you have to play this Westfield northwest corner as if there isn't any arty. I mean, don't be stupid and go out there and just try to stand in one spot and get hit. But you've got to control it and get up in there, and that means you're going to be exposed. That means a lot of rocking back and forth, unpredictability, maybe going dark for a while if you need to, but none of that's really a factor as far as arty goes for this particular game. You can see me spinning my camera around a lot. That's what I'm actually doing in game with it. The reason for that is I'm looking back and forth, trying to find tanks. Cross-checking your mini-map is important. If the tank shows up, you're going to see it on the mini-map, but that means your eyes are down and right looking at the mini-map. So you also want to be spinning your camera around, locking your turret forward typically with a right click, and look behind you, to the side of you, because then you'll get that obviously visual representation of there's that tank, and you can figure out how to shoot it if you need to. And the reason I'm looking to my left is I am watching for guys coming up over that ridge and trying to pop me in the side. Right now I've got a scorpion who's going to be my little canary in the coal mine. He'll let me know if anyone's there, so I'm kind of paying attention to what he's doing. And once again, that's what I'm doing with my camera. I'm going to come up into this saddle. I like using the saddle. It's a good spot. You can, like I said, move backwards and get back down behind that hill if you need to. Plus, it's a hold down spot. You can see that the terrain ahead of me is lifted up a little bit, and I can peek around with just my turret. They have the same ability over there, so both sides are going to be using it. We also have an IS6 coming up. I like that he's going over there. We do need someone over there. A couple slower guys coming up through the middle. The standard TD, thinking that's a great spot back there, and the T95, not even sure is loaded in. And you can see that we've got a couple guys moving down into the town. So overall, a pretty meta-centric kind of deployment. I'm going to come out here, pop him, get nailed by the Canaveran who just snaps a shot off. Now that was a pretty good shot, and let's see, it's hard to tell where he hit me. I don't see it, but I'd imagine he got me in my armor. I'm over-angled there. Would have been better to be more straight on. I may have bounced that shot. Again, what I'm doing with my camera, looking around. Got the T10 behind me. I'm pretty happy. I was a little concerned with the VK, and now I don't like what that guy just did right there. Now he's doing the right thing for his armor. He's got the same pike nose. He's doing what I should have done, keeping his tank straight ahead, but he's blocked me and kept me from getting in there. I think there would have been a better idea to leave me some room so I can get some shots, knowing that neither one of us has a lot of depression. This is going to cost me some time as I futz around trying to get a shot. I actually think I have the depression there, but I don't. Dopey. I've got to come around. Now I'm kind of in his way, so we did not work together well right there, and it cost us a few seconds. I'm going to pop a shot off here and miss. And again, spinning the turret around or spinning my view around anyway, looking for anyone trying to come up and over. Now, this is interesting right here when I look at the mini-map. There are a lot of their tanks lit down here, and to me it sort of looks like we're outnumbered. But if you notice, we've taken this high ground up here. We're pushing them back. We've got enough guys in the town to kind of keep them honest, and pretty soon we're going to start flanking around, and they're going to take shots from all directions right here pretty quickly. So even though it looks like they've got a numerical advantage, we're in a better position. See how they're all kind of hanging back? I'm going to snap that shot off a bit lucky. I didn't want the T10 to get the shot. I was a little peaked about him right now, jumping in front of me and getting in the way, you know, because it was all about me. But we're working decently together. We're getting her done. Watch this shot that this IS3 gets on me. He just shot from, I believe, a lower position, or maybe neutral. It looks lower. He just nailed me on the top of my turret and pinned me right there. I'm not even sure what that was all about. It was about me getting pinned. Wow. All right, so here we go. We're going to work over this 5120. Why? Because he is clearly on a reload. He's running away. He's trying to get hid. Get hid? Is that a thing? I don't know. But he's trying to hide. But now, look at us. We've swept around and we've got these guys cornered in that little bowl. And as long as we're careful and nobody YOLOs over and dies, we can continue to snipe at them and take them out. That turret is sitting on the back of that Carnarvon right there. I have eyes only for this guy. I want him dead. I don't want him reloading. There we go. Get lucky with the IS-6. He hits my track. But that 175 pen gun is going to do that. I'm going to take a careful aim on this guy and make sure he goes away. And now we are kind of rushing down. And if you look at it, we've already dusted 6 of their tanks. We're well ahead, 4 to 6, or 2 to 6. Math is public. And now it's basically a feeding frenzy. And if you look at the mini-map, that kind of surrounding crescent I talked about is starting to develop, and we're getting around every side of them in the town. And that is going to go badly for them. I'll see this Oni. The IS-3 is not really known for its running snapshots, but at this range and the size of that target, it's going to be hard to miss. I actually hit him. He blaps me. I'll fix the track, and that's a point. Notice I hadn't used anything on the track yet. I don't know if I'd actually been tracked, but I didn't fix it. I fixed it there because I wanted to keep on trucking. Really what I'm doing now is I'm trying to gather up as many hit points as I can. So I'm kind of balls to the wall, pushing forward as fast as possible. You'll see that it's going to end up giving me a hit. I see the WT, reloading, and I just kept moving. I knew I wasn't quite reloaded, but I kept moving. I probably shouldn't even slow down for that. I think for just a moment about this T-28 looking at me, but then I say, you know what, I'm going after this RHM. I'm going to auto-aim him, and had I continued forward, I would have got more than the whatever 10 hit points or whatever it is that I got off of him, because I'd have been able to fire early. This is a poor shot. It just goes right in. I just shoot straight into his turret. I mean, I don't know what I expect there other than to bounce off his mantlet. I should have tried to go to the side. I'm going to take a hit here from one of their guys. That is something that I talked about in the last video. There they all are. They've more or less won at least this portion of the map. And they've got one guy hanging on the back edge of this. But unlike the game where we were losing, they had several guys here. They'd killed everyone here, and they had a bunch of guys back here. On this one, we're still threatening them, easy for me to say, on the southeast. And we've got a well-organized push just overmatching what they've got left. So it's a bit of a different situation. We can sort of just be YOLO, push down. And that is all I'm doing. I'm just coming at them. If I needed to avoid the guy that shot me earlier, I wouldn't have come around the side of that building so fast, because if he was smart, he'd have tracked my movement and timed a shot into me. And now I'm just pushing down as hard as possible. And it's cleanup time. Cleanup on aisle 2. I sort of expect to get hit and maybe even die right here, but they don't see me, or they're busy with somebody else, maybe looking at the Panzer mutts over on the side, which was the benefit of those snipers living. And there he goes. He just died, so clearly at least one of them was looking at him. And that was the benefit that allowed all of us to come down without taking any shots. We got a Leopard PTA. Nice thing about the IS-3, nice and fast. It actually does a pretty decent job for a heavy on cleanup operations like this, where you can gather another hit or two. And in the IS-3, that's another 600 damage. So you look at me, I'm at 2100. There's the 8.8. He's just sort of highlighting himself on the hill right there. Unknown why you would be like that, but there he is. He was invisible, at least initially. I sort of expected to take a hit in the side. I screw up right there. I zoomed back out. I actually knew where he was. I zoomed back out, and then I thought to myself, dadgummit, if I had just kept it pointed right where he was, I probably could have just taken that shot and easily took a hit on him. But there he is, and we get rid of him. You'll see this leopard PTA, he shoots me. I think I've got too much of the side of my tank showing because it's going to go straight through my commander and gunner, I believe. Yeah, he kills my commander and gunner with one shot. This CDC wants to kill me. I can tell he's pointing right at me. I'm just doing the reload game with him, but ends up somebody else kills him right there. So that game ended up following the meta much closer. I was in a heavy, I spawned on the top, I went up to the northwest where I already was. I didn't see a lot of reason to change anything as far as doing something silly like go down to the bottom of the town or maybe go down to the southeast. So based on the setup and the teams, I was pretty confident that we had a good chance of winning the northwest. And then once we collapsed the northwest, it was just a food fight, feeding frenzy. Ended up with 2,900 damage. Not the best game ever, but respectable. 6 kills on cleaning up some near deads. And there you have it. There's some IS3 gameplay, more of a follow the meta on Westfield.